Hello, everyone, and welcome to week one of the Survivors Hyrule. We're on the Rumble stages right now. We have a matchup tonight between Alaszun of team.
Do I have to do the bit? Do I have to do it?
Kubasa, the 16 student lying hidden somewhere in the school, and Taelin116 of the Distinguished Wranglers. Joining me tonight on comms is Zafikel, team captain of Team Mikura Kubasa, the 16 student lying hidden somewhere in the school. And tracking for us tonight, we have Arya Stark, and restreaming we have Ricky of Kokiri. Thank you very much, Ricky, for helping get into this on. Our mode tonight is Crosskeys, and I think that's a mod that both you and I like quite a bit. Isn't that right, Zaf?
Yeah, I mean, hello everyone. Welcome to ZSR2. Welcome to week one. It still giggles. It still makes me cackle how Alaszun was actually allowed to have cross keys. But yeah, we're here. I feel like we've done this before in a different tournament, you and I on comms. So, yes. In case anyone is fresh to cross keys, entrances are shuffled. Keys, maps, keys of both sizes, maps, and compasses are also distributed and shuffled as well as the normal items. So we're just going to have a whole bunch of silliness across the board. Currently, as I made the mistake in the pre-race room, team... I really did. My own team, Mukuri Kasaba, the 62 light heading somewhere in the school. All right, this is the last time I do that. We are currently undefeated at wall kicks, having played earlier this week against Scary Olive. Alaszun playing tonight. And then Distinguished Wranglers. Arya played my league teammate, Ivy Karma, and I'm looking at this race from now. And that was a super close match in Kaz Boots. And then J-Jo snuck probably one of the most interesting upsets of round one, taking out, world champion Eridor. So yeah, week one has already had some super interesting matchups. It's been a delight across the board. Lynn, I'm not doing this again because you're also on the team.
Yes. Look, to be honest, I'm really surprised that people didn't ban cross keys because, quite frankly, 3 members of Mikura Kubasa, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with the bit.
We're done with the bit. Have been cross keys finalists, wall kicks, and late at both won. Hey, there's a sword. And of course, Alaszun was runner up to Wally last year. So, and you yourself are not bad with cross keys either. You.
Thank you, Tafa. Yeah, the three either champions or runners up.
Well, I'm also gonna say, look, hey. You are also part of the winning Invitational League team Open League team last year of the Crystal Roller crew, and you and your cross keys helped get yourselves way into the playoffs and promoted to Invitational next year if you guys so wanted.
Well, no, I mean we'll do it, but. Yeah, so the story here about why this mode wasn't banned is because Alaszun's name in the Discord was Homemade Deer, which, sure, but apparently Taelin and Beer were good friends, and I assume that happened, and then inadvertently or unfortunately for Taelin, it wasn't until after the mode vetoes were in, which we can talk about momentarily, that he realized it was not in fact Homemade Beer, but it was Alaszun, and so that happened.
Yeah, I think Homemade Beer's name in the Discord right now is Ray Mem Stereo.
So, but in case people are wondering why we're talking about mode vetoes, this tournament actually works in a very interesting way, where in the Rumble stage, what ends up happening is teams are put into different divisions. So currently there were 25 teams for our second iteration of this tournament. They were divvied up as equally as possible in terms of just the number game. And then players of each team are randomly selected to play against other players, not necessarily team versus team. And in this stage, each player gets 2 bans. Blind, so players can actually ban the same modes. And if I'm not mistaken, Taelin banned our new entrance mode and something else, and Alaszun banned probably Open and Kaz Boots, knowing him. And Yeah, and as such, Cross Keys was let through against last year's Cross Keys runner-up. So big smiley face.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I did not know that story.
Oh, it's a great story. Admittedly, not a whole lot has been found so far on either runner side. I think the most interesting thing has been this TR left, which Alaszun snuck a bomb out of. Both.
Well, so it's interesting. There's a sword at the drop down over at Castle, and we also
Yeah.
found the flute.
Yeah.
So, Taelin not gonna go. He's gonna south route through Kakariko. It looks like. I mean, he's got the sword. He'll probably try to beat up some bushes, 50-50 bushes for bombs.
That story is confusing. Don't worry, I'll try and tell it again momentarily with more caffeine in the system and more brain cells.
And basically, the moral of the story is, you should put a lucha mask on and pretend that you're somebody else.
Yeah. Basically, if you don't want your best mode banned, just pretend to be someone who you're not.
Yeah. Looks like the money making game down in CAC is just it's probably the back of old man. There's Blind's Hut.
I'm completely gobsmacked by the fact that I really didn't want to talk about this. So normally in cross keys, runners have semi-traditional sort of opening routes and everything else. Alaszun being one of the the adopters or still adopters, right? Because a lot of players have moved toward a sync start, sort of like I guess more of a meta thing. And Alaszun started with a sync start, which is something that he doesn't quite do, and as such, it's a little bit interesting to kind of see the route change. That being said, this could be either just him swapping stuff out, him having fun, or just having a good time. So, and Taelin adopting probably what is much more maybe older meta, older convention. As such, they're basically just sort of tracing each other's footsteps right now, right? The early game for this, a lot of this mode is get resources. Each in this case, it's money for your bottle vendors, your chest games, dig games, buying bombs, and actually having bombs, which tends to be one of your bigger resources in your early game in case you find things like Hype Cave until you get a weapon. Of course, Taelin having gotten the sword early, Alaszun about to get a sword. Bombs will have to be used as a weapon so much as just for their primary use of blowing a hole in the wall.
Yeah. And it looked like our tier 1 was at least single bomb pulls.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Good early resources available for both of the runners. Yeah, but early food and cross keys is really nice.
I mean, it is probably one of the best items for mobility, especially given the fact that there are no gloves. The connectors seem to be kind of sparse right now. Actually, seen a lot of like item caves and entrances.
Yeah.
We've not seen connectors so much. This would be kind of nice just to kind of quickly explore the world and move about. So,
yeah, we have seen one entrance into Hyrule Castle, but Taelin opted not to go pursue that a little further. Oh, hey, there's the bomb refill at it. That is actually not a horrible spot for that cave if you need a refill.
imagine not just hula hanning.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and like I said, with flute, especially not having necessarily glove, it allows you to kind of retrace your steps in a sort of convenient way. You're not really going to have the bad orphans that you might have if you're just kind of huffing and puffing around.
No, like you saw, one of the very first things that Alaszun did after activating the flute was just he kind of did the north few checks in Kakariko and then fluted down to take a look at Link's house and check some other stuff. Misery Mire's at Green Benton today. Wonderful.
Okay, so Misery Mire's just a really nice 6-item cave, potentially 7.
All right, Moon Pearl sitting in Cax, so Alassun's not going to miss that.
Ick. I mean, it's fine. But also, early Moon Pearl is one of those odd things that you both kind of like, but you also sometimes don't really like.
Yeah.
Especially, and the reason why you don't kind of like it is a lot of the time, Moon Pearl tends to be sort of restrictive, right? Depending on what you find, depending on what's available to you, you really are happy not to see Moon Pearl until a little bit later, deeper in the logic. Basically, Sphere Zero of Moon Pearl means the world is kind of open to you, and connectors are going to be everything's kind of fair game, right? So depth is a lot more of a concern than breadth. So
The chess game is in the pretty much the light world equivalent to where it is in the dark. Alaszun found the back of Old Man, which I thought was... Oh, well. That'd be a great Old Man save and quit if the first item we hadn't found was the hammer... sorry, the flute or the sword.
it's kind of one of those cheeky, oh look, I did a really cool thing, and then suddenly it spits you almost exactly out right where you want to be.
So I have to imagine Taelin may take a dip into TR with the sword and Samaria when he finds it, because that's just going to be the fortune teller. Hey, I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Is this even randomized?
Nope, don't do it. Don't do it.
That is a Vanilla Smiths. I missed that.
Our tracker pointing out behind the scenes. I don't see our GT key tracker here. So
yeah, we're having some minor technical issues with the tracker, but we'll deal with it. It's pretty good for what it has to be tonight.
it's fine.
Yeah. But it's GT keys. Who needs to know how many GT keys you have?
It's nice to know how many GT keys you have. Logic is mildly important.
True.
I mean,
Oh no,
Taelin.
Taelin. Yeah, this...
I miss where Taelin got the Samaria from. I assume it was probably somewhere.
It's got to be. There's like 5 or 6 south item caves in CAC, so it's probably just one of these ones down here.
Nothing that really influences anything. Like the idea would have been, if there's something interesting with respect to how many keys we've gotten for TR, but no, alas, it's just...
Yeah. It's a pod small. That's pretty nice. Yeah, but
Interesting. Taelin actually saying, you know what? I'm going to take that TR key I have, and I am going to go to the front. Which is...
got a moon pearl and a sword. This is pretty aggressive though. Just like you have the flute, and you can go check all Death Mountain. You can check all the South Shore essentially.
Yeah.
Does mean you are kind of banking on like Laser Bridge now not being in a shit location, and having to be forced to traverse.
Yeah, The one thing about TR and key sanity, obviously, is, or especially across keys, is that likely you don't really need all 4 TR keys. In fact, it's usually sort of a logical, like, hey, maybe something's here. But the reality is that 9 times out of 10, that is a very interesting spot for that, though. You really just need one, which is to open Trinex's door, and everything else is just kind of free, extra, convenient. So,
Yeah. I actually did miss. Where was TR main?
TR main was at TR Bridge. Hello, Samaria.
Ah.
So kind of interesting knowledge for Taelin. Obviously without a mirror and that other connector not being particularly useful, it doesn't do a whole lot. But
Yeah.
that is a really interesting must connect, especially when we eventually get a mirror. But for the time being, it's not super critical knowledge.
Yeah, because like usually like a lot of the ways that a lot of people like to get to the front of TR, if they can't find it the other way, is to just beat Trinex and go for there. And if to beat Trinex, you need the Fire Rod, and the only thing else missing up in the front is the Fire Rod locked. So you're not really gonna probably miss it. Taelin's going back here for the back to Chicken Hut because he didn't have bombs to deal with this originally. It's a shame. I wonder if it maybe was actually the tier 2 that was the single bombs then. Because he tried orchestrating that. Alaszun did, but Alaszun was also up in the Lost Woods for a little bit. So he might have gotten a higher count. Thieves down Big Key. Sounds like, I only got 3 bombs. I'm gonna go get a few more. Yeah, so Samari was in Blind's HUD.
Yeah, so players are basically at parity now with respect to weaponry and everything else.
Yeah. The Taelin's done a little bit of TR. Alaszun's going to go to Hyrule Castle. This bit of Hyrule Castle is technically out of logic, even if it doesn't feel like it should be out of logic.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else. That the big thing that's really mattered is that Thieves' Big Key, which was logical, was free, but everything else is probably just going to be I mean, granted, so far we've seen nothing else, but yeah, I suspect that this, unless this is something major, this is going to be sort of a Alaszun's thinking about this, and then we'll completely check this out of sight, out of mind.
Pop a Super Bunny Cave here for Taelin. Another pod key and another sword. Go find the green guard. You got blue mail, but the green guard does have a hard damage no matter what.
I can hear, like, Alaszun don't have his audio up, but in my head, I've heard that sigh so many times of what happens. Like, just the... Yeah.
I mean, at least it wasn't a hard piece of sync art, but...
Yeah.
Well, it's one mirror entrance dead. Desert Palace was our rarity shop. So we're going to finally get them out in here for Taelin.
Taelin going backwards to the back of Old Man going, wait a second, this isn't what I think it is. Ick, put it back. Actually, I mean, Flute 1 spot, like Ice Palace is one of those dungeons where it's like, normally when you find it, if you can, depending on the time in the seat, sometimes you have to go into it without your ability to clear that dungeon, but it being at Flute 1 is usually pretty convenient. But hello, GT!
Hello. We have 3 items we can collect from you.
This is my favorite 27 item cave in pieces and parts. With progression! I've also been playing a little bit I would say uncharacteristic for him. I feel like a lot of how he would play would tend to be sort of the thorough. Like he's been up the mountain and walked back to front of Old Man and has not gone back, and instead, I mean, it's kind of picking up
Yeah.
all of the breadcrumbs that he's left behind up until this point. But admittedly, I would love to say similarly about Taelin. I've actually only watched Taelin play cross keys twice, one of which was against me in ladder. But as a player who's like considerably gotten better over time and went from being kind of like an open specialist to rounding himself out, especially for League and everything else, we're going to be seeing a fun sort of fake flipper setup.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We got a book on the island.
Which we have one piece of the puzzle until we get a mirror. All that's really just going to be meh, sort of a out of sight, out of mind, hopefully never is relevant kind of thing.
Yeah. We are going to get a little bit of a... Obviously, this is Flipper's locked. It's just a compass, though. I don't think Taelin's been back to the back of Sync yet. So
No, Taelin did that. I think it was the third or fourth saving clip, but eventually did get back there.
All right, so this will probably be Alaszun actually going to take a look at what's at the Old Man Save and Cloud. Probably won't care too much. Isn't going to care too much either way about the flippers.
No, I mean, the thing about that is it's a fairly free sort of fake flipper setup, right? Like the second you kind of have Samaria or a bow or anything, that's sort of a common thing, just to, because Hobo's kind of a weird one-off, especially given how the rest of the world routes. It's usually just sort of like a, hey, it's almost like a time sink, right? Like you take a moment to go, all right, what does the world want me to do? What do my keys want me to do? All right, I'm just going to go up to Old Man, go up to Hobo for a second, grab whatever item is there. Sometimes it's your boots, just way out of logic, or otherwise, it's a compass and doesn't really matter. But it's just a one-off check, which is pretty time neutral, all things considered. Flippers versus the 3 seconds it takes to set up a Samari and 2 bombs, right?
I'm interested to see what Dark Cave that was for Taelin up on the mountain. I think we've seen all of our Dark Caves now.
We've not seen... I don't think we've seen the Dark or DM Descent, right?
Well, no, but we've seen there was a Dark Cave, the Desert Ferry, and the Gambling House are Dark Caves. That's 2.
Okay.
We've seen the back of Old Man. We've seen the Old Man Rescue Cave, and then I thought there was another one. Taelin saved and quite out of a dark room on one of the Spec Drops towns. So, we don't know what they exactly are, but I don't think we really care too much what they exactly are.
In which case, then we have seen them. And I guess that was one of the things where I thought we hadn't seen all of them, but I guess we have. Mistward does it right was, but sort of a...
This is top of Spec Rock.
This is top of Spec Rock. Okay, so this is all sort of contained on the mountain right now, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Alaszun, you could play the flute. It probably doesn't save time, but... Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, so... Yeah. We've got standard Dark World access now.
Granted, out of logic.
Out of logic, we need a lamp, but.
And it turns out that was our second one. All right, Desert left spitting us out in the mire area. Always so nice, especially in the mire entrance.
Yeah.
I mean, the world's kind of open now. All things considered, it's not as though it's a. Not that we really care too much about where some of the dark rooms and logic was, but this is all completely free, right? Fluke gets us up the mountain. We would Desert right to left. So, and this is just basically all open. And now that we have the hammer and the glove, it's sort of this. Well, what do we do next?
Yeah. Oh no. Poor Taelin.
This is fine.
Yeah,
I mean, your route's going to end either way. You go through it. You say, yeah, this is
yeah.
fine, and you
You,
just
you got two connectors, Spiral Cave or Fairy Ascension. And I don't blame Taelin for taking on it. It's going to spit him out with an item. But yeah, here comes Alaszun. He's going to be getting that hammer. That is our first gold Swanky. We probably have access to one right now because it's sitting over in the Skullwood's pinball chest. But here's Alaszun getting his hammer.
desert. No one's just sitting over in Ice Rock Cave. Nice. Um,
Big key on the board.
and a big key on torch. Yeah, I missed that the first time through. You know, where desert left is going to spit us out. Yeah, Talon kind of getting a nice little like, he didn't get a chance to do this earlier, but now you have flute, you have all these things, just kind of getting a fairly free pass at this, and with respect to all the different freedom of mobility things, it's going to turn a little bit nicer again. Alaszun's not really lost a lot of time, and effectively the difference in their routes has been Alaszun did Hyrule Castle, Talon did the eastern area for mostly nothing.
He got his sword out of it.
And
So.
yeah, it was the sword out of the Super Bunny top, I think, over there. But
Yeah.
again, things that are going to be fairly free and pretty easy to get back to. So
Yeah.
to your point too, though, again, logically, we still don't have access to that Skullwood small that's sort of sitting all the way always in pinball. And our connectors have been kind of odd. They've not taken us to sort of an open world state. They've taken us to Mire without a beer. They've taken us to other spots in the light world. So we'll kind of be very curious to see either if the lamp is just sort of freely available to actually give us that traditional dark world access, or if there's a different connector that we're missing. Granted, we haven't seen one other entrance in Hyrule Castle. We're also missing Desert Main. So it could be that we've just had connectors that kind of spit us out there. But yeah, the world's been kind of weirdly closed off. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we have the glove now, so there's a few more entrances we can check here and there, and we can also go to the Zora region.
Yeah, I mean, we with the glove normally either putting Zora itself in logic, but now just with the flippers that we got out of GT, like this is all kind of just fair game. So
yeah, I kind of imagine Alaszun's heading up, gonna go to Zora because I'll check Island, find the brewery.
Yeah, his route naturally closes off here with going up to Zora and ending the route there.
Yeah, having already done, having done Hobo, doesn't have to worry about going up there.
Yeah, the flip side is that Taelin's almost kind of cleared out the entire light world, right? He's done all of Eastern. He basically just got to wrap up Desert, which Alaszun's kind of got spit out for Hyrule Left earlier. He's seen almost all of the accessible light world, so I think kind of his next play after this is probably going to be almost a traditional let me walk out of Link's house and go hit the portal, because our connectors haven't been particularly fruitful and there's nothing that's really pointing us in any other direction, right?
Yeah, we saw Paradox Cave, but only the block side, and we don't have a mirror to like sequence break into it.
Yep.
That being said, I'm sure the moment somebody finds a mirror, they're gonna go and sequence break into it because we still have to take a look at the. I'm pretty sure this will be a save and quit to Sank for Alaszun to go take a look at DM Ascent, and then maybe walk over to. Oh, he's starting CAC.
This might just be a flute to Eastern area, or question mark.
This is going to be a very. I mean,
Spike Cave already? Okay, sure. If this is nothing, you just reset away, you get your magic back. If this is something, dope.
Yeah. This technically is out of logic because while we have the, aside from the glove issues, we don't have a magic extension.
Reset, get your magic back.
Yeah. Oh, we did see Mimic Cave. That was over at. Actually, Talon's going right to Mimic Cave right now.
Yeah.
Where Mimic Cave is. He doesn't know this is Mimic Cave, but this is Mimic Cave. It looks like Alaszun's gonna maybe take a look at that other exit out of Hyrule Castle.
Mm-hmm. And this is again one of those weird-ish. Oh, Big Kiev Swamp Palace. Great, cool. Put that back. It's trash. This is kind of one of the interesting things about the early Moon Pearl. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's nice to have right now before you get the swamp. We'll check it when we get there, but it does really nothing. And but like, where is our logic then? Because it's gonna have to be that DM Ascent. It's got to be one of the entrances we haven't gone out of, or the DM Ascent, the Old Man Rescue Cave, the lower entrance, the actual entrance.
It could be Desert Main, which puts us out somewhere. It could be Hyrule Castle Main. We're not really getting a lot else at the moment. Like, assumedly, this is just follow a connector into the Dark World for just starting your Dark World route, right? But it's very interesting that it's been kind of a sort of tight bottleneck. I don't also remember what was at the Sank drop down. I'm assuming it was a whole lot of nothing.
I don't think we've seen it. No, Alaszun went in there. He hasn't gone back. You should flute to 8. He's going to go to the eastern area.
Yeah, he's not in the eastern area, so this is a pretty reasonable, like, hey, get this done.
Yeah. He'll get a sword out of this, and not much else. His first spot's small, which admittedly is pretty nice. But I feel like Talon's probably going to find what's going to happen next, because he's already done TRs, so he's not going to go into TR. Okay, so the Ganon is at Sanctuary. So there's still one more entrance.
Yeah, we've still got like one or two small things, but again, it's kind of like very oddly restrictive. Just precisely what we're missing here. And it's not as though it matters. It's not as though our players are adhering to any sort of like oddly, oh look, we need to be restrictive, we need to follow logic. It's just one of those weird things where you're sort of like, the game is clearly pointing you to something, and despite the fact that a glove is very useful in entrance, right? Like, it opens up the world in a very different way because all these glove entrances, which don't really matter so much in an open seed, we have entrances that are shuffled. And it definitely makes the world a bit nicer, and so it's kind of an oddity when it's a little bit out of logic. And now we're kind of at this point of parity where both the runners are basically kind of going to go down to, what in tarnation either did I leave behind, and or am I just going to finally say, forget it, I don't care, let me just move on, and I'll find it along the way.
Yeah, with K45 being where it is, it's almost assuredly it's Desert Main or the other entrance of Hyrule Castle left is the logic. Yeah, because... And Taelin's just going to go to Dark World here.
And I guarantee the first entrance that he pops out of is going to be either Desert Main or the Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, the weirdest spot is if one of those was Bumper Ledge. Because it perfectly makes sense. But you're also never going to find it.
Yeah. But at this point, again, you don't really care. It's just nice to actually get your hands on the logic and go, okay, what precisely did you want me to do? But both runners kind of are at the point where it's like, well, long hair don't care. Taelin, again, not having done the Hyrule Castle stuff, and Alaszun has, but at this point, this is just both runners kind of narrowing down what's left, which just turns out as a whole lot of nothing.
I think Alan, I think he's good.
It's so weird because
no, he was too far over to the left side. Yeah. You do that trick enough, you just learn how to completely eyeball if the setup's right. Wolfie, that's a bomb jump you almost never see.
Yeah, Wolfie basically at one point gave me an infographic that was like, here's exactly what you do, and it's, oh, well, that's a really nice connector that you'll guaranteed to see anyway, but with Spec Rock Lower going to top of PDM, it'd be nice if we had a mirror, you know, ha ha ha, for all those people who complain about boots and other modes. Yeah, just with what's been available to us so far, it would be really nice to have a mirror. That's an in logic, yeah.
It's not in logic yet, but it probably is.
Yeah, you're right. I was like, it's more the items themselves, assuming, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so we're only missing one out of TR now. Second GT small. I'll see if Alaszun opts to reverse. Taelin did, so he knows that it takes him out. Alaszun's also getting a little bit beat up here. He also knows that from a key logic perspective, he can't be expected to reverse right now.
Yeah, and it's usually very unlikely that you're in a TR small go mode situation, but at the moment, you know, again, there is a door to Trinex, and if Trinex happens to be a crystal, that TR small that Taelin spent to take to the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the other connector that I kind of forgot about because it was marked on my map and then I just kind of put it away. This was also available to us very early, just sitting in CAC, so as something that they could also traverse.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeehaw! Now everything, I would say, makes sense, but it just means that we finally have a way into the Dark World, which was not based on traditional Dark World access. So I'm going to guarantee, I will say I'd guarantee Lamp, but then of course I'd be eating my own hat. That'll show up and then put all the silliness right into play.
Alaszun's like, I don't need to go to pod. I'll get the money before pod, I'm sure.
I mean, Arrow Game is a really easy spot. You're almost like, you're going to find money.
Yeah.
He's definitely did spend the money before Chess Game coming up here.
No, he did Chess Game. Chess Game is in the Light World.
Not Chess Game. Dig Game?
Dig Game. True. Yeah. He's 2 rupees.
I'm sure it'll be fine. But yes. I mean, you could just go and slash a lot of bushes, or our friend over here will probably give us some money. Perhaps. Surely he'll give us some money. Surely he'll give us some money.
Hey, he gives us the ability to beat TR, Ice Palace.
I mean, yes. Conversely, I believe, although our tracker for CSR today is currently crack-a-lackin' and GT keys, I think we're at 2 or 3 GT keys. Or maybe not. I think Taelin has 2.
Taelin has at least 2. Because they were both up on Death Mountain. I don't think Alaszun's seen any yet.
I'm very curious as to how Alaszun has seen none, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm sure he will. Yeah, Doc. Alaszun rolled cross keys because Taelin thought that his opponent was Homemade Beer, because Alaszun's name in the Survivors of Hyrule Discord was Homemade Deer with a D, not with a B. And so Taelin did not ban cross keys. Also, thank you, Arya, for doing the hard work so that I don't have to, and keeping track of keys for us on this fine, blessed day.
And Taelin's heading for Dark Shopping Mall.
This is completely reasonable.
Yeah.
You'll get the 3 entrances here. You'll also get to do catfish at the end of this. Honestly, this is like, you're not really getting mirror efficiency anymore, right?
No.
We've traversed the entire light world. There's no such thing as mirror efficiency. So this plan's kind of like, well, let me just get dungeons done, or get entrances done, right? We're missing 1 5-item cave. We found 7-item caves. We're just kind of like, we're looking for stuff because again, the world's been oddly.
We are getting a lot of pod small keys.
Yeah, we have pod keys. We have, in fact,
we have a bow.
We have a bow. We have.
Alaszun's gonna yeah.
Go ahead.
Alaszun's gonna. It's like, wait a second. Okay, cool.
I don't want this. Yeah.
Yeah, because Thieves Town was the last entrance into Paradox, so they both got it at the same time, just using completely different entrances.
Yeah.
But Alaszun's going to be pretty happy about that because he can just sing put out of Link's house now and go into Skull Woods. Oh, hey.
Cool. Okie dokie. Yeah, again, it's been a very interesting and odd, like, hey, you have this entire world open, but it's now the pieces are finally starting to come together with all these connectors that we didn't see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's the Thieves' Big Key. And again, like, the runners are kind of basically at parity right now. We're still just kind of exploring and finding stuff. Taelin, I'm sure at some point will very much make his way into the Boo area to get the Fire Rod from notable, really hard entrance to find the brewery. So I suspect that we'll just be getting all this stuff. I think it will kind of be at an even game state, trying to figure out what comes next.
Yeah. Alaszun's going to go check the back of Skull Woods with the Fire Rod. He doesn't have the big key here, but it's fine.
It's fine. Your route ends here. You're not going anywhere. He might try and take the drop down back, but I suspect not. I think he's going to save and quit and then start again.
He's got regular Dark World access, and he's kind of like choked off. Like right now, his kind of bad spots are North Dark World with the glove and South Dark World. He's done the Vu region, so he's split the world in half essentially.
Yeah, it's a really interesting sectioning of the world that he's managed to do. Taelin basically has done a different way. Like, Alaszun's cut it north-south, and Taelin's just cut it east-west. And so Taelin's now just kind of like, having done Dark Shopping Mall, we'll probably end up doing Pod very soon, so. Yeah, Taelin's also been kind of like a see connector, take connector, which has basically put him in very interesting spots in the world too. Taelin having now also seen DDM, which is kind of nice, kind of convenient, so.
Alaszun has now turned on the part of his brain that says, I can beat Dungeon. I will beat Dungeon.
Yeah.
Look, he's got a big key.
No. Yes, sorry. It's risky because he definitely went in here with not full magic and without any easy way to get the magic bar up. Granted.
Yeah, I haven't seen exactly what our prize packs for the Pang Eaters are. Oh god, it's in the Euro pack. Better hope for the berry.
I don't hate it. I just hate it.
You might want to. It's right next to a flute spot.
I mean, you're going to do the items here, right? Like, even if you basically go to the end of it and you don't have the health, you're...
Alaszun?
No, he's going to get the key,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. He doesn't have a key. He doesn't have a small key, so he's going to go steal a small key from...
Yeah, and this is...
the berry.
I don't know that I like this at all, because you get a small key, because you don't need the key.
Or, no, he's just going to IP bite. He's just going to ball jump. Okay. It's not the worst call in the world.
I have questions.
Maybe
but
he forgot he had Samaria. Who knows? He's doing it for no magic use. Yeah. Being joined opinions and chats by people who know Alaszun.
Is it
well.
that it's... Well, yeah, no, sorry. I was thinking about this. It's like, it's not that there's no magic use. It's that you actually get the 2 pots along the way, right? But this is awkward because...
He's going to have to go essentially run Ice Palace, essentially vanilla. He's going to have to go down, drop the soil, grab the key from... yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and certainly, like... He's...
Oh, berries are in the money pack. Oh, that is horrible. That's...
Because the thought here, and I know this was dumb, was I thought that given his magic situation, he was going to steal that small key, die, and then be able to have the magic from the refill room. But this is just... Which I don't think was any better, right? But that was my thought. But no, this is just, he's doing it this way, so...
Got a small swell.
Yeah?
Damn, away from another dungeon completion. Just hard piece up on the ledge on Pyramid.
Yeah, this is also one of those really awkward locations, especially in cross keys, because you don't have a really, without a mirror, those 3 entrances on top of the castle are nothing, and then it's just a one-off that you'd rather do with your Ganon, who, by the way, is vanilla. I don't know if we ever called... No? Okay.
No, he said sync. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Magic Bat at Pyramid. The classic.
I thought it was Magic Bat at Chackwell.
Maybe. Then it's a single item gave whatever it is.
Okay.
Well,
it doesn't matter, because we're going to be probably doing the climb at some point, haha, to get to the top of the castle.
Yeah, he's got to go back up, push the block. He should have enough magic, and especially like if he doesn't take any more hearts of damage, he can use sword beams.
I'm just an idiot because he'll have the key here to spend on the refill room because I forget half the time what's where. Well, the extra small key now, yeah. Like, he's got the ability to do it. My brain just... This is a very long ice palace, all things considered, right? Like, if you think about your normal routing through here, this is definitely a much longer way to do this. Oh, he'll have the small key so he can do the refill room. He's fine. Now it's just doing the thing.
I mean, there's still 2 small... There's still 2 magic smalls in the pots right before Cold Stir anyway. But refill room would definitely...
I mean, yeah.
There.
I think he's got like 2.5 magic bars. Like, it's an odd, like...
It's really close.
I don't know.
Well, regardless.
Okay, I was like, it looked like it was just not enough. So, okay, it would have been... I mean, he had sword beams, right? So, honestly, it'd been fine. And... Sorry. And now he can basically just do sword beam dupes for the fire rod and have some safety as well, so...
Yeah. He's got blue mail. He's got about 9-10 hearts.
He's not a potato. He's literally done this shit 1,000 times. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Ooh.
As I said, he's literally done this shit 1,000 times.
Yeah, unfortunately got slightly caught by a falling ice drop.
But once the first one is down effectively, like you can kind of wrangle them and be a little aggressive. Like you're not exactly super healthy because you're at 9 hearts blue mail, and so taking a puff is I think still 3. Yep, it's still 3. Thank you for demonstrating.
And there we go. We have everything out of ice pals. But Buckshot and GT Big, not really too bad, especially GT's right next door.
Yeah, GT's right next door. Alaszun still has no GT Smalls, which is the most puzzling thing that Taelin grabbed 2 somewhere. So he's gonna go in. He's probably
it was all because of all because he went through Spectacle Rock, because there was one up there and then there was one on the bottom side of Death Mountain.
I certainly believe you. I 100% believe you, as you are my co-com, and I literally have only been paying cursory attention to this when I have their trackers up and running, and Ari's been doing the Lord's work. It's just an oddity to me.
Alaszun's going to go through and at least do right side first.
Sure.
I mean, I'd also be tempted to like go hookshot across and maybe see what I can find on the other side of Death Mountain right now.
Oh, I mean, it's gonna do it eventually, right? Like this is literally a flute away. Like this is free, right? Like this is items, and at this point, with the early game kind of being oddly not barren, but just oddly straightforward, and it's still not clear what the seed 100% wanted you to do, because this glove is still a lamp out of logic.
Yeah, but the lamp hasn't really done us anything right now.
It's a glove!
Like, we have a seed where we could, I mean, granted, Cold Stare was a crystal, but, like, we may have a seed where we only need a glove to beat Cold Stare and lift the rock to go beat Cannon. Like, it's weird, but it happens. It's just super rare.
It does happen. Don't get me wrong. But a glove is usually not something you sneeze at.
Yeah.
Now, this is the unfortunate part of Alaszun will now have to jump into a hole several times.
Yeah, well, at least the hole doesn't care about your mail.
The other thing about this route, too, is that this actually will eventually let Alaszun go back through Hookshot Cave and wrap up the rest of South Dark World because of where the Hookshot Cave was, which was the Fortune Teller north of Cac, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
So he'll be picking up those 4 items, which will probably have a GT Small in there anyway. Yeah. Now, the curiosity will be how far Alaszun goes in here.
I mean, he's not going to do map room.
Well, no, right. He's not going to do map room.
But
I guess my thought is I wonder if you would delay this decision, but it's not as though there's any benefit to delaying this decision. You've not really gotten a whole lot that kind of points in direct. You've got an ice rod. Okay, cool. Haha.
As Meyer said, that's the lower entrance of Dark Death Mountain on the west side.
I've watched 2 dumb seeds today, this being the second one, and I'm just sort of puzzling right now, because it's not like it's entirely not straightforward, it's just a weird seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, everything is now locked behind the 2 GT Smalls, which Taelin has kind of fumbled around and found, and I'm just going to assume that there's like at least one more. So, you know, basically in Key Sanity, you kind of round up keys. You know, 1 key is 2 keys, 3 is 4. Let's assume that there's somewhere between 0 and 4 keys out there for GT, providing us our glove.
Okay, well, now we know why we have so many GT Smalls early. Hey, Meyer, Vicky, and Samaria.
Someone else can take over comms. This seat's dumb. I'm out.
Well, Myers a green pendant. It's not a crystal. He can't. That's not a crystal he can clear, but it is 9 items for him.
Yeah, it's doable, and I mean, again, this is. I mean, the seed is fine. It's just goofy.
Yeah. Ether.
Mods.
Oh, mini Moldorm Cave here. This is interesting. Mire's small.
Yeah, but our Mire, I mean, sure. So I think we've had a Mire small key available, which is a fairly early sphere, and then we had the Mire big locked behind Holy Moly. So
yeah,
which, by the way, currently locked behind Mire 2 or 3 locked behind GT4 until we find this other glove, which is probably just out here in the world somewhere.
Okay, good, Alaszun. Don't you dare.
And if Alaszun probably had his mic on, he might not. I'm just kind of complaining about hello, I'd love a mirror because of all the sort of walking around and just stuck doing the boring stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we find Pod at some point soon between our runners, because I think it's just we had all these keys early and this was readily hello.
Hey, buddy.
And
this is probably going to be all the answers to this seed.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, we have 4 keys out there, so, what, 9-ish items logically available.
Yeah. Sounds like, oh, that's my logic. Okay, let's go do Vo.
Yeah, and I even at this point, I think the runners probably both sort of assumed after a while, like trying to track the glove down, that either there was just a connector that you missed or otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that it took Alaszun maybe as long as it did to kind of pull the trigger on moving past it. And Taelin for a while has just been kind of going entrances and saying, yep, I'm going to do the thing.
Yeah, well, it's always one of those things where it's like, you're moving, you're trying to move past the lamp, theoretically. But it's like, how far in the logic is it going to drop you? Is the question. And
yeah.
Especially if it's just like, oh, I missed a couple entrances. I think he also hadn't, he hadn't done a couple caves that Taelin had. So, because well, maybe this isn't actually really my first call. Maybe this is my mitts, and if I can go find my actual mitts, I'm in a much better off spot.
Right. I think what was fascinating from our perspective was the fact that none of these connectors took them anywhere useful up until the hookshot cave connector, right? And
yeah.
Admittedly, in their bit of divergence, Taelin didn't really find all that much, and Alaszun kind of found probably the next little bit of, hey, you were supposed to go get the fire rod to get the hook shot to, get some other things. Again, still a glove weight of logic, but at this point, really, that glove has, like you said, the glove may just literally be for cold stare at this point, right?
Yeah.
Assumedly not, but realistically, we're finding our other dungeons. We're missing a dam. We're missing, I think Eastern. We've not seen a Hera. No. Oh, look, a small kid at Castle Tower. Speaking of things that are completely violent. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Castle Tower. That'll let us get the other item out of it, but I don't think either runner's going to go beat it. Yeah, but here are some things that Alaszun skipped over now for Taelin on Taelin's side. By the way, Taelin's managed to find all 6 spot smalls. Oh, God. They already had a connector to the Mire region, though.
Sure.
It'd be really funny if the Turtle Rock Big Key's right around here.
Yeah. Okay, video game. Do your best.
That is the second time I have seen that big key in that chest.
At Lin 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 Nya, does this look familiar? That is literally the second time today you and I have seen that.
Well, Alaszun speeding pod.
Yeah. Could he save the key? You know,
He just now has to go find the Kadongos to kill him again.
so we're missing a couple dungeons in terms of their locations. We've not found Thebes. We've not seen Hera or Back of Skull Woods, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And we're still missing a dam. But suddenly things are beginning to crystallize and materialize. Like, obviously now things are making a bit more sense.
Yeah. Fortunately, Taelin's not heading right for Ice Palace. He's going to go take a look and see what's at the back of Skull Woods first. But
yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Again, the weird thing about that location is Ice Palace is just at Flute Spot 1, or
yeah,
Old Man Cave, right? So
yeah,
it's very easy to get back to. It's also one of those things where you tell yourself it's very easy to get back to, and you kind of like, you wait for the spring to uncoil and you wait for everything. I don't really think he's probably going to care again about the glove. You know, maybe at some point that thought is there, but at some point you just pull the trigger because you now have the fire rod. And honestly, that's probably what he's waiting for more than anything. Is this is the first save and quit that he'll have with the fire rod once he's done with whatever routing he chooses.
yeah.
Which I guess he kind of wants to wrap the rest of these entrances. It wouldn't shock me, you know. Again, you kind of have the Ice Palace starter package. You have your Samaria. You do have a big key. You probably can get everything you want as well. And then when he finds the hook shot, similarly, everything will make sense.
And okay, he's getting a blue potion for probably a nice foul step. That makes
Probably
sense.
a nice foul sip. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Like you're in pretty good. But as we saw even with Alaszun, just like a misstep, and you don't want to be redoing Ice Palace. That'll be the second crystal down for Alaszun.
yeah. And like I said, given the fact that, you know, he's about to probably, you know, we're going to continue the other dungeons on Eseth Mountain, we're probably going to find a dam soon. We know where Swamp is. It's readily available. We're still looking for a Thieves. You know, now we have a Hera. Like,
Yeah.
when we find things on Alaszun's side, we'll be able to do things. And this is a product of that sort of like plotting early game, but now, you know, we have the dungeon clear starter kit, right? Like we have most of our, you know, items. We have rods, bow, gloves, etc., and the requisite amount of small keys for basically every dungeon at this point. So
yeah. Yeah, and there's Terra. 100% this.
Yep. Yeah, we have both big keys for this dungeon. You know, kind of affectionately and appropriately, you have the hook shot, which is the other big key, but we actually just also pulled the proper big key out of the back of pod. So
yeah. Desert Big?
This seed could very well wrap up in the next 15 minutes, and it was going to be vile. I don't think we have dungeon information outside of Mire and whatever we find, but this is very much like see dungeon, do dungeon, and they're kind of not in terrible to get to spots.
Yeah. Desert Palace. Okay. Desert Palace. Getting to Desert Palace will be... Well, actually, no, we don't have bombos to open up the Mire entrance, because otherwise it's Spectacle Rock. But Desert Palace itself, like the north side, is...
Ice Rock Cave.
Over at Ice Rock Cave region.
Yeah.
Right now, Alaszun has the ability to have finish 4 dungeons without even setting foot in the pod region, which is a win in a lot of people's books. And the interesting thing is we do know there is a big key on the Desert Palace torch. Oh no.
Oh, for the love of God. Okay, no, well, he just fist pumped. So, yeah, there is a big key sitting on Desert Torch. For dungeons that we may or may not need, like it could be a skull big. It could also be other things we don't need, you know.
Yeah. Well, he's also really happy because now he gets to go check the Dark World mirror and then go all the way back across and then check Upper Death Mountain.
Well, and the other thing too is we literally were just talking about going to the Mire area. If he decides to kind of follow that connector back for the Desert Big Key or the Desert Big Chest, now we get to do extra things in the desert area, the two extra entrances up there. So
yeah,
this is just kind of nice. And he will eventually find that spec rock connector that puts him up on top of Floating Island, so he'll be able to get top of the mountain as well. You can just get it now if you really wanted to and take the time to circle back. But like,
here, this is where one of the GT Smalls was.
Okay,
oh, no, that Pod Small. Never mind.
That's a Pod Small.
Yeah.
Don't you lie to me. No, I mean this is also going to be.
This is where I think we're on the GT Smalls was.
I believe you're right. I still don't remember where Pig was, and I'm too lazy to go back through the VOD.
It is Sanctuary.
Is it Sanctuary? Okay, we have confirmed this.
Yes.
So then I believe it's just Lumberjack at GT?
Yeah. Because Steve had Castle.
Yeah. And Magic Bat was at Cackwell. So, okie dokie.
I'm not 100% sure if Alaszun will climb GT. Because he can climb, grab 5 items, and then mirror and check top of castle without having to, like, do extra stuff.
The big issue here is information. I think that honestly, once he clears this, he may literally go do Desert North, and then like while he may just go and check a couple things out right now. I would not be entirely surprised if this is for either.
He's going to take that last pot small key that he got out of here.
Yeah.
So I ain't losing to the Pinky chest. Come on, TR Big.
The one interesting piece of information, which is not really going to be super relevant, is I guess we allow the TR Smalls to make that traversal that Taelin found for TR Bridge, which was the front of. Oh look, useful, nice. TR Bridge to. The front of TR was TR Bridge, right? So that's the only kind of like interesting piece of information. Whether or not that's a entrance of value at this point, but realistically, that's kind of locked behind either TR Smalls or, as we were mentioning earlier, just clearing out Trinex.
Where's he? He's gone. He's climbing. He's okay. He's gonna go take a look at. He's gonna go take a look at map room. This is really thorough. But he also has the mirror now.
This is oddly... Well, I mean... I don't suspect he was probably ever going to use this. Maybe he was, but I think at this point this might just be following Desert to grab items. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I actually agree with this slightly, just because... Well, this is going to be Desert Palace, but... I don't know if it would be me thinking too cute or not, but... We have seen the Book of Medora. It's sitting on the Lake Island. I don't know, is it too cute of me to think that you should go get it before going up to Tower Hero, just so you can make sure you can knock out Ether Tablet when you're going up there? Considering it might be a bit out of logic, but...
I don't know that it's too cute. I just know that at this point, Alaszun's looking for entrances because there's at least a possibility that he is in go mode? Hold on, let me like triple check everything. It's possible he's just ready to like clear dungeons and go, right? Like he's looking for a dam for swamp and the thieves entrance and back of Skull Woods. So like I don't hate what he's doing because he's just potentially entrances from go. If my brain is working half right.
Yeah, he can beat.
Like
Yeah,
if
he's
TR and
he can beat
Eastern,
4
yeah.
more. Yeah, he can beat 4 dungeons right now with the loadout he has.
Yeah,
But
so if,
potentially.
yeah.
Okay, no, he actually is going to go do this. He's looking for entrances. He also hasn't seen this.
Right, yeah. I mean, but I think at this point, this says I am looking for entrances because I could just be in go mode.
Yeah.
And admittedly, like we could have, like you could do desert at some point, but he's also going to go to Dark Shopping Mall to look for entrances. So he's going to mirror when he's over there, cleared the backup desert, and probably just like start that I'm in close to end game cleanup, which is actually like we were saying, it's entirely possible. He also still has, if I'm not mistaken, did he do the hookshot cave items?
No, he has not.
Okay, he's not.
But he's getting Medora at least. Click else and hit the pickle and then save and quit. Yeah, okay. We are being raided by Violet Pumpkin, and I guess it's in about 70 minutes since the race started. Welcome in, Raiders. This is a week 1 matchup in the Survivors of Hyrule tournament. Tonight we have a cross keys match between Alaszun and Taelin. And oh, hey, there's the other side of Spectacle Rock that Taelin failed to bomb up to. I'm Toffel. Joining me on comms is Zafikel, and also we have Arya Stark tracking for us tonight, and our restreamers are Kyoko Kiri.
Yeah, welcome in for cross keys. Thank you for the raid. Really appreciate your love of ZSR, ZSR2, all things Zelda, and all things Link to the Past. It's been a odd but kind of fun seed so far. Both runners kind of unraveling a very interesting early game. A little bit confounding to at least one of our commentators, me. But the seed is kind of unraveling to be almost particularly quick. Alaszun's pulled a little bit ahead. I think we're just pulling the trigger on the Ice Palace decision, which Taelin did not too long ago and is now effectively chasing items, chasing a little bit of density, and is maybe 5 or so, maybe a little bit more behind. But
yeah.
We rapidly went from many items from Go mode to, oh, holy moly, we could actually potentially just be in entrances for Go mode. And so Alaszun's kind of efficiently routing through, picking up items along the way for things, kind of picking up a little loose end here and there, and just hoping to find the dungeons that theoretically he can clear, which would be a Thieves' Town if we find it, is looking for the dam to clear Swamp. There's a world where we are just straight entrances from Go mode, and so yeah.
Oh no, the Desert Palace entrance was the top of Fairy Ascension Cave.
Okay.
Now you get to feel like I could have had that mirror a lot earlier. Well, Harabiki was in the Pot Dark Maze. So You could have had the mirror a lot earlier. Theoretically.
It's kind of unfortunate that Taelin did not go across after.
Yeah.
Because that effectively is the thing that unlocks it, is the fact that the game was basically spitting pod keys on us, and it turns out pod was the sort of the next thing that Taelin could have done from where he was at with GT.
Oh no, it's a shovel.
It's a fetch quest. It can't hurt you. Speaking of fetch quest, I don't think either of our runners has turned in this powder or checked the powder that we got out of GT.
No.
Again, Alaszun is potentially an entrance go mode, so is going to be pounding through. Speaking of one of our entrances, here we go.
Woods.
Yeah, if entrances we've not seen yet. We've not seen anything that's left behind a mirror, obviously, because we just got it. I don't think we've seen anything in the pod area.
No. Taelin completely went
Town
to
did
pod.
pod, okay.
So we're missing the dam. We've seen Sick Kid. He's at Dark Flute 5. I don't think we've seen Agina. We might have seen Waterfall Fairy. I know we've seen Pyramid Fairy. Checkerboard's outstanding. Haven't seen the Bomb Shop. Seen all our 5-item caves. Seen all our... and then connectors-wise, I don't think we've actually seen Brothers, Old Woman, or Bumper Cave.
I believe you're right. Is this a... Oh my god. Okay, well...
We're running the the nuts.
Hasn't seen Dark... Or is... Alright, I'm puzzled. We've seen Desert Entrance for him, right? Like, he knows where this is.
Yeah, but it's over at Shopping Mall.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because he could... He's done this bit. Yeah, this could just take him over to...
This will probably, for just because the game likes to do this, be the Desert Right entrance. Or exit. We're still missing 3 Muscanax.
We are. Only one of them is to Bumper, because we found normally the other 2 important ones, to be fair.
Yeah. No. Okay, he's gonna go take a look and find his nothing that's in.
Gonna find a shovel.
I mean, he hasn't done South Dark World for the most part.
I mean, no, he hasn't. He literally could.
He hasn't done North Dark World either. He's actually managed to hold off not doing mirror checks until completely optimal. I wonder if this will just be starts out Dark World.
I just cannot for the life of me fathom why we're not going to do Desert.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
There's something that maybe I'm missing, maybe not. It doesn't. I mean, it is literally a flute away. We are looking for other stuff, but also at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think he's found the map board, so he should know if it's a crystal or a pendant.
You know how you find out what a dungeon item is, Top File?
Yeah, you just beat the boss.
You beat the boss.
Okay, so he's going to the lake right now.
Yeah, I mean this puts him out at Dark Hylia to do the thing, right? And again, this is probably the more efficient like way to do this, which is what I think we were kind of theorizing about a few minutes ago. Um, and honestly, from an entrance perspective, because he is looking for at least two entrances, he's looking for potentially thieves and the dam. If we're assuming that like I'm in presumptive just entrance go mode, this is
Yeah.
probably the smarter way to do this.
Yeah, so he's going to come over here. He'll take these entrances, mirror, go to Desert Palace.
Yeah.
And then probably continue up to Catfish or something.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this is you can always just route Catfish over. I guess my thought was if you blitz Desert and it's a crystal, obviously you're just in entrance go mode still, right? If it's a pendant, then you kind of theoretically may pull back the reins a tiny bit. Then you kind of like scope out maybe a bit more. Okay, I need to probably be a little bit more thorough. I can't just like dip my nose in, see that it's a possible bit of time spent, and then go from there. But
yeah.
But I mean, at this point too, like I said, this is probably the more not hedging your bets on the trying to sub 130 the seed. This is the okay, you know what, I'm going to clear the seed in the efficient way, and this is
and Taelin here is doing something we rarely see in a Key Sanity seed.
woo.
He's got
Land.
6. He has
6. You're absolutely right, and in fact, is going to find the pod big key.
Like perfect. I can go grab that right now. At least it wasn't Sankart, because he doesn't have the mirror yet. But let's see if this is a pendant or this will be Alaszun's 5th crystal. You know what would be really funny if Ice Palace was the bomb shop?
I have words for you. I'm just not going to say them out loud.
I mean, we're running out of places for it.
This is true.
Desert
moment of truth here. Oh my
god. It doesn't matter. That's a big key.
Yeah.
And it's not the Swamp big key, or the GT big key, or the Ice Palace big key. So that's another.
Well, it can be this.
At best, at worst, it's the Skullwoods big key.
Right, and worst of the Skullwoods big key, but.
Hey, guess who hasn't done any of the gone over to like Stumpy or the Bonkrox near Link's house?
Listen, look, I hear you all day. On the one point, I'm kind of giggling to myself that I would have had those boots, but also like at the cost of probably a fair bit of efficiency and then and everything else here. But this is Alaszun's happy place right now, where like this is I'm doing dungeons.
I've got full world access now. I can probably beat again. I've still probably got 4 dungeons I can beat right now.
Yeah.
3 more dungeons, I guess I should say.
It is a little bit, I think, unfortunate because I don't remember where Desert Main spit us out at.
Yeah, really can't get back there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a trek either way to get that big key off the Desert Torch, but that being said, at this point, it's a fairly easy, like, flute up there. He's also got, I mean, at worst case, he flutes up to get the big key and then does Dark Death Mountain the traditional way, but
yeah,
this is also going to be Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, any number of other items, or for Pyramid Castle, yeah, which is also completely fine too, because honestly, one, you can go right back there from here.
Yeah. So that is pod done for Taelin.
And Taelin's literally going to find Hera in the next 2 entrances and find the mirror, and that's kind of only a matter of time.
Yeah.
That being said, Talon did take a fairly long detour to get to this mirror and to get to... Where is Eastern Big?
We'll have to take a look at the VOD, I guess.
I'm assuming it was an item check that Alaszun has not done, which is literally most of the overworld. So I think it's probably Dig Game or Stumpy.
Yeah. Allison's like, I need information.
Yeah, but you didn't give a shit about that.
Oh, it was Dig Game. Okay.
Thank you, Arya.
Thank you, Arya. Another useless map. I mean, Allison's going to be going there very shortly.
Right. The thing about this is Alaszun is much too... I don't like being one of those commentators who's always like, yeah, of course, there's still a chance for this. This is very hard for Talon to come back to, because this has been a few minutes of like just general mirror checks and everything else, as well as there's a lot of efficiency left in the world for Alaszun, and kind of finding all these pieces and parts. I suspect Talon is going to, now that he has a desert big and small, go and do the things as well, because he's going to be in that same similar... Hello, Thieves Town, by the way. In that same similar vein of, well, I could very well be in go mode if he's kind of keeping track of like what he's got left, even especially with the fact that he now has the Eastern Big Key on, in addition to what Alaszun had kind of at this critical point. But Alaszun has now had Boots and Mirror for a few minutes longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Talon's going to go start working through the mirror checks and the mids checks. Over in Meyer, he'll find Skull Woods, so he'll be back up almost to crystal parity again. Yeah, and Allison's just going to go run through Thieves Town. You don't have the small key, which is the worst part. And that being said, we're probably going to find the small key very soon. But this is in a bad enough location where you don't want to go back to it.
We still have no Eastern Big Key. Or sorry, we have no Eastern entrance. We have an Eastern Big Key. Sorry. Brain was working on two different wavelengths. We do have an Eastern Big Key. No entrance. We've not found Meyer. Not that it matters, since at this point we actually have access to literally every entrance. Which Alaszun, again, is probably very quick to realize. And so now it's just... Now the issue is plotting out what is the fastest way to literally get to every entrance, because he has now seen the only other location that we, as the eye in the sky, hadn't. We do know where TR Bridge is.
Right.
We have seen Floating Island, which, Floating Island, I think that they've seen, or it was nothing in terms of items, so...
Nobody's gone past into the light world, I don't think. We've only seen Dark World. So that's...
You're right.
Alaszun hasn't... Alaszun, kind of went up there and then dropped down to check the rest of Dark Death Mountain. And left from there. He didn't go back up and cross the bridge.
You're right.
That's 4 crystals now for Taelin.
Yeah, we're back to crystal parity. And again, it's like I said a few seconds ago, I don't want to be like, oh, of course, it's anyone's game. It's not. There's a lot left that Taelin still needs to do to kind of get closer to the end of the game. It's still possible, right? Because you're gonna zig and find a couple things. He's probably going to go in soon.
Eastern is a pendant. So we will need a TR big.
Why?
We're just TR big from go. for Alaszun.
Yeehaw, I suppose. TRB can basically be anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, if I am a Taelin fan, I think again I'm sort of like trying to parse out precisely what I've got left in the game, and having already been over to Dark Shopping Mall area, I would not be surprised if that one of his next plays is going to be that flute to 8.
Yeah, and there's Alaszun getting that information. Also, we have both of our red crystals. No idea which ones they were, but we've got them. So. Only one of our dungeon completions are in logic, though. Oh, it's like... But yeah, now Alaszun has completely identified his go mode.
Yeah.
Here's Taelin coming for his boots, and
which means that we're still looking for right?
Yeah, we're looking for one entrance and
one big key.
One big key. But we can get to every entrance, and
Woo Lad. Okay, well that's the Eastern we've been sort of pondering over.
Yeah.
We have identified an interesting win condition though, which is TR big and Eastern big chest. And Al said nah, and understandably so, because he's looking for a dam, and it's not gonna go in there. I doubt Tail's gonna go in there either. I don't know. He does the information as well. So this is he might also back out saying, I don't really care to go in. Yeah. So again, it's sort of an eye in the sky win condition for us, but the reality is that it's likely going to be something that both owners are going to get back to after searching everything else in the world.
Yep, there goes Lindless for Taelin. There's his boots. Not happy that it's a pendant, but gonna be at least happy that he got the boots.
And the thing is that Taelin has no reason to think that he's in a bad spot. I mean, doesn't really know, but like I have 4 crystals, most of my Y items and everything else. Alaszun go back in there for that.
It's like, wait a second.
Okay.
I'll go quickly. Go look, see if. Like he just has to check King's Tomb now, and he can do that from the light world. He doesn't have to go back in the dark world. And here's Taelin heading back to take a look and see what's in the rest of Desert Palace. I think this is just gonna get almost no.
What was that big key again?
We did not see it actually. So we will get an idea soon.
That's right, because we did this the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh lordy.
TR pick. And is this the Turtlerock Picky? No, it's the Skullwoods Picky. That's unfortunate.
Big sigh of relief.
Yeah, and I think this is Alaszun heading for that. I think I'll get that too. You can open this up. This is just literally. This is considering now we're about to sit through a cutscene. It says much about where the rest of our Desert Palace entrances are. That this is the fastest. Actually, he's probably, and you know what he'll probably do? He'll probably take this and go all the way throughout the Desert Palace Road and then go up the mountain. And check top of the mountain.
Has he checked Ice Palace entrance?
No.
probably going to check this, be a little bit frustrated, and go back for probably King's Tomb, because that's honestly something that's a little bit awkward that he just left when he grabbed the big bomb.
True.
I mean, or Ice Palace. Like at this point, it's like it's one-off entrances or the mountain, and so it's probably a let me get rid of the rest of the entrances.
Yeah, this is King's Tomb.
Okay, this is King's Tomb.
Taelin has not gotten the buck. Not that it has mattered yet.
Oh, baby. Ooh, disgusting. Ugh, put it back.
Alright, well, there's the dam, so...
So I was also going to go up back to the mountain, but for a different reason.
Yeah. You'll go to Swamp. One item for Gomad. Should not be doing left side first. Ooh, there's Meyer. Alaszun also remembering the hardest thing in the game. To go check that entrance after...
You've got flute, it's fine.
I've seen both of you put off that entrance for a while in the past.
You know what? You're not wrong. You're absolutely correct. Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're okay. I was gonna say, I wonder how many checks in here we skip, but this is basically saying I'm gonna do all of this. If it's literally not along the way, I'm gonna come back in, like, because your other option at this point is looking for other dungeons, right? Which we know where Eastern is.
I mean, we know where all the dungeons. Well, he hasn't found Meyer yet.
He hasn't found Meyer. We do know where Eastern is. Okay, this is basically saying, yeah, I'm going to come back in for this stuff no matter what, which makes sense, right? At this point, it's just going to be cleanup.
Yeah. Here comes Taelin finding Eastern Palace.
Okay, so this could literally be a decent swing if the TR big key is in the nope, cool.
No, gave us fake hope, false hope. Okay. But Taelin really needs not to be trailing Alaszun, just kind of like doing what Alaszun's doing. Unfortunately, finding the dam means he's going to be following Alaszun into Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Also, haven't gone back for CT2 either, have we?
No.
Again, he doesn't know it, right? But that Eastern big chest or Armos is literally his win condition. But the actual play is, I know what this is. I know I have a crystal dungeon to beat. I'm gonna go beat it, right?
Yeah. He also hasn't found Thieves Town yet. He needs to go take Bumper Cave. So. Take a look and see what's at the Ice Palace entrance. I think we are almost down to just like a Gina, which I'm pretty sure we haven't seen.
I believe you're right. At this point, I lost track because I've been sitting here just enjoying the silliness of the seed. I think we've found both of the fairy caves. So I think that's it. We've definitely found Meyer Shed.
Yeah.
I know we saw all the... I think we saw both the Ice Rod caves in there. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think we're literally just looking for Agina as a one-item cave.
Where is... And yeah, Taelin hasn't checked the top of the castle. So this is kind of where like Alaszun's routing has really started to really pay off. Like he hasn't going to be doing any of these double packs.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And this is also just a function of having had the mirror in the boots for a bit longer, right? Like, this is all going to be things that, you know, are Taelin's going to have to find. Taelin's going to have to traverse. You know, Taelin's about to be down 2 dungeons again, which, you know, it had been at parity, but is down a Thieves. And, yeah, I guess it's technically down a full swamp soon as well, right? So,
yeah.
He obviously knows what the swamp is. I think this is sort of I'm gonna do these dungeons. I might as well. It's gonna be awful when he does find the big bomb and go, oh crap! Well, do I just say this is it? No way.
Yeah. Well, and thankfully we know that, like, from the big bomb perspective, it's not going to do us anything because it was the Turtle Rock big chest entrance. I don't think, and it's not even going to be faster. It actually might be slightly faster to get used. I don't know if that'll be faster or not to get to Trinix. Laser Bridge is in a bad spot.
Laser Bridge is an awful spot. That being said, we do have TR left in town, right? So that's probably going to be TR left all the way through.
Yeah.
I do think that Taelin did pick up another TR small, so it's not going to hurt him too much.
No. Hey, Taelin, you got a mirror. Oh, okay. Alright, so Alaszun is going to go... Where is he going to go here?
I don't know where else to go. Taelin's obviously going to now get his 5th crystal. I think, yeah.
Yeah, so this will be Dig Game and Stumpy and Shovel and K45 and Race Game left for Alaszun.
Potentially? This was our...
I believe this was Spectacle Rock as well. Alaszun may just take this just to get it marked off because he wants to find who's connected to the floating.
Well, he's also not found, you know, and not that it really. I mean, he's
the bridge the bridge entrance either.
Which we know where this is, and actually now this is logical that we can traverse this, to the front. But
yeah. Fun fact: we still don't have our lamp and logic because I don't think we have found all 4 GT smalls that are required for it.
No, I believe you're correct. I don't think we have found all 4, so theoretically Mitt's entrances.
Yeah.
Now when you find Meyer here, you have to go in, right? It's just an 8-item cave, a 9-item cave actually.
Pretty much.
Right? Is it the win condition for Taelin is still Eastern. Doesn't know it.
Right.
But also at this point, Taelin's definitely going to be looking for the big bomb shop, potentially for Thieves. Needs to find the connector, obviously.
It's like, realistically, like, we have 6 items in Eastern, 1 item in Thieves, 4 items on the climb, plus 1 behind it. 9 here.
This is for sure the densest thing I think we've got left, right?
Yeah.
And this is really fast. Like, everyone kind of gives Meyer a little bit of a hard time. It's a very fast thing in Key Sanity to get all the items out of it, all things considered.
Yeah, no. Like, Mystery Mire is a bad dungeon to play in open or standard. In Key Sanity, it's wonderful. It's fast. Sure, cutscene chest sucks, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Arya also pointing out that we do actually now finally have this lamp and logic, so I mean, at some point it's bound to happen.
Yeah. Between our second gloves and logic, because I don't know which ones are first, because both of them are gross.
I'm pretty sure that pod one was first.
Probably first.
I can't be too sure because my tracker has already been closed off because I have
Yeah.
It's like at this point, we're like, okay, well, you know, most of what's left is. Yeah, I mean, the next big thing for Alice is to be that huge sweep of Vu into the tablet, which.
Yeah. How does he want to do it? He probably goes south. Like he gets the hammer pegs, he'll do the couple south entrances, and Smith is vanilla, so you're not like that. You're gonna be kind of your best way to handle that. I mean, it just means Bombo's tablet's kind of awkward, but
yeah, I mean, he's resigned himself to doing Bombo's tablet as late as humanly possible because he took this connector, and now it's going to be with
yeah,
the purple chest.
Taelin opted to not to do the left side swamp, probably. I mean, an hour 43, and I can kind of get why you might start skipping, especially left side swamp. Kind of the good call on his part, though.
I mean, he doesn't know it. It's a great call. Obviously, you're kind of at this point too, where you're probably peaking the race room. The seed definitely picked up in the middle game, but you suddenly went from not having a lot of stuff to having a ton of stuff all at once.
Oh god, there's a hair of Smolky.
I mean, we're kind of at the end game, right? Like we're gonna find all of this garbage, calling it what it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna find all these things, and it's just a matter of how efficiently we can route it. And yeah, so.
Here comes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, wait, no.
Yep.
It's available.
And you have to stop and do it, right? Like you have to immediately go and say,
he's still missing Thieves Town. He doesn't know that it's a Light World bumper ledge. Yeah, no, he 100% needs the entrances. Unfortunately, like, he has to go through Bumper Cave. Doesn't have the cape, but he can hookshot it. Alright, nothing much in my iron. Just the hair of Smolky and the
green pen.
And then
I don't want to put this voodoo out in the world, but we do have the TR smalls to traverse the front at some point as well, which Alaszun is probably thinking about. But again, also literally also has Smith's purple chest, Dig Game's Stumpy tablet, right? So
double bombos today. Where is Taelin heading? This might be. Oh no, is this going to be Medora?
Taelin doesn't have the book, right?
No, he never made the stop over to get it. TR's nothing. He's checking. He's going to go check the entrances over here.
This might be hair basement for Alaszun, which this is the deepest thing I think logically for him outside of the green pendant.
Yeah, he's here.
This is if I don't do this now, I'm probably never doing this because this is literally the last thing left for him on the mountain. So this is a damned if I do situation, and I'm sure that he does not feel great. Like I think this is one of those awkward spots where the middle game opened up, and there are a lot of like very split decisions where Taelin was gonna find the items, right? Like maybe even if he's 10 minutes behind, he is now at a kind of awkward spot where that time is slowly getting dragged back because you're in the dregs of what you can do, right? Like you're in the last resort of efficiency, right? And this is definitely a Taelin zigs when Alaszun zagged, and even if you did get to the mirror in the boots 20 minutes sooner, it's just a big key.
Yeah. It's a small key on the ledge, but I don't think this could be the thief small. Oh no. Well, that's another out for Taelin. Green fin the tournament. Oh, hey, our very first Ice Palace small key. You know, the dungeon that we beat almost an hour ago.
Our first dungeon?
Yes. Alaszun's gonna go check Hyrule Castle Tower 2. I'm being told it's plain Toffel. I did not roll this. Oh, hey, here's Agina. At
This is getting scary.
Pegs.
God.
Don't you love fetch quests?
No, I don't. Obviously, Alaszun is my teammate, so I'm a little bit biased on this one, but I'm
Yes.
also like terrified because if Taelin finds a TR big key, he knows where dungeons.
He doesn't know where dungeons are. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he
know
doesn't know where
where
dungeons
thieves'
are.
Like, we are being asked in chat what team you're on, Zafikel. The answer to the question in chat is Team Mukura Ikusaba, the 16th student lying hidden somewhere in this school.
I'm so glad there was a character limit and we couldn't put the whole absolute bloody copy pasta in there. Wally asking, what team am I on? What did you subject me to? This is nothing though, right? What Alaszun is. No, this can be the fun of TR item checks. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe all kicks you are on Team Akira Ikusaba, the 16th student lying hidden somewhere hidden in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
Mods. We're still needing the TR big key.
We need the Turtle Rock big key, yeah.
I'm wondering what's gonna. I mean, I think at this point it's clearing up the south route, and then just you pull the trigger on the climb, which.
Yeah. This will be right side. He'll go find that this is the bridge connector. Hope that he can find.
If this stupid. What's left? It's this and the climb, right? And then the tablets.
Eastern Palace. Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, hey. How horrible.
I called this like 5 minutes ago, and this sucks.
Go back in the damn dungeon, you idiot.
No, he's going for.
Yeah, he's fluting to the mountain at 151, 48. Alaszun's in gun mode.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough keys, so actually has to.
Yeah, he can't reverse. That's true.
Because he take. No, they both only have. Oh
yeah,
God.
we're still. There must be Turtle Rock keys in Eastern Palace. I think that's the only explanation. Or Smith Chain.
Yeah, if he had tried to go through, Alaszun actually, I think, has the 3, but that would have been expending his last one, so...
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, Taelin does not know, again, that... Did not find these down, so he's still looking forward. Knows he has the items now, he just needs entrances.
Where was the bumper connector, by the way, to get us there?
Dark Pod Fairy. Pod Fairy.
Pod Fairy, okay.
So Taelin's seen it, but it doesn't have the cape. Well, now he does have the cape, but...
I think Alaszun probably feels horrible about that. Like,
I mean, I think the question is, like, whenever... I don't know, like... If he realized that... Well, he doesn't realize... Now he realizes that that was a one-way. It's always a hard thing to make to pull the trigger on TR front like that. And reversing, especially when it's a hard-required reverse.
I think it was just one of those, you look at a seed like this, and there's certainly a world where someone could pull the trigger on that 15, 20, 25 minutes ago. And like I said, even if Taelin was behind, like he was to Mirror and Boots, he's made up a ton of time since then, right? Like,
well, I mean, he's still in a tire thief down behind, but yeah.
Sure, but, you know, relative to where he was, there was a significant amount of time between Alaszun's Mirror plus Boots and Taelin's Mirror plus Boots, so...
Yeah, Taelin's just looking for connectors to try to find the one that'll get him to bumper ledge. Yeah. But Alaszun's almost on to phase 4 here. Silvers were in Thieves Town, so it's going to be finishing up pretty quickly here.
Get your GGs in chat for Alaszun, finishing this up pretty soon. Probably
156 on the dot.
Yeah, a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah. I think we'll try to get him in for an interview if he wants to join. But I have to take a minute or two. I think this is going to be GT for Taelin. Yep, it was GT.
And also a tremendous effort too, because like I said, I think it was literally whoever pulled the first decision on, or whoever pulled the trigger first on the Ice Palace decision. It could have very well just swung, right? And I think both players were kind of tentative after getting the glove off Old Man to say, okay, I want to do this, because maybe there was, you know, and this is something we can obviously ask in the post race. What was the thing that kind of said, okay, I don't want to go further, I don't want to pull the trigger on this stuff, but there's definitely a there's definitely a world where I think that either one could have done it a little bit sooner, right? And it just was a matter of biting the bullet and saying, okay, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go, and then the world just exploded afterwards.
Yeah, here Taelin has finally found these. Now just gonna quickly do a quick run through. Might end up missing the silvers, unfortunately. They're gonna check where he might just pull it because he's gonna be right there, but he's in go mode. He doesn't have to do anything else in here other than just
And
rescue blind.
And we are joined.
Hello.
GG's, my dude.
GG's.
GG's.
How do you feel?
A weird seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
What?
were saying that. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna shut up and let you talk.
I mean, like, it was one of those things, like, I got that glove, I'm like, okay, we're looking for the lamp. And then I'm like, alright, well, I'm here, I may as well do GT. And I'm like, okay, there's the lamp, 4 keys out of logic, only to throw the second glove, 6 pod keys out of it. So I'm like, this is probably the first glove? Which I'm 99% sure it was. I kind of stopped tracking and stopped caring about it as much.
Yeah.
But it was just weird, man.
We were kind of sitting here thinking, like, I was like, the whole time, like, this seed just feels really goofy because.
Yeah.
So Taelin actually did find those 6 pod keys and went into pod with all 6.
Ooh.
Not. I think actually they were all pretty much straight in logic, just really awkwardly because of hype. Yeah, hookshot. Yeah.
The one that made me oof there was the one that was in the Dark World right near pod, because it also means you then either orphan your hair a big chest or you have to go back. Like it was not a lovely predicament. Yeah, I mean, I was just hunting Meyer, honestly. Like, I got to the point and I was in this really weird situation where I'm like, okay, I need to find some dungeons. I don't know what dungeons I need to find, but I need to find some of them. And so I made the very rare case of going back for a map, hoping that it would be something, and of course it was the Hyrule Castle map.
I did have a question for you about this, and obviously I kind of like... The thought there was, I understand the logic behind it. You had the flute, you could have gone... So, like, there was a moment, like, an hour 15, where you basically had enough to say, I can clear out... Like, you were in go mode, right? Like, you were in presumptive go mode, because you had Desert Big, you just needed to find the dam and Thebes. And you kind of kept going for entrances, which obviously was the more efficient play, but you didn't have the information. So I was kind of calling in the booth for you to go to Desert immediately. Because if it was a crystal, then you can kind of just start firing off, like, and skipping stuff. And if it wasn't...
So I understand what you were saying. The entire point was I wanted to route Desert in with the Dark Shopping Mall play.
Yeah, okay.
Because I knew I was still hunting entrances. And so I was trying to kind of find a good time to route that in for me.
Yep.
And I mean, I eventually did.
You did, right? And that was the call I made, but it was like, I was sort of sitting here on like both sides of the fence going like, I might have just rushed it and then gone back for it later. But if it's not the crystal, then you kind of like shoot yourself in the foot in a way. Obviously, I also had the boots, so you're kind of giggling the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't feel particularly great about those boots. I suspected I was a little bit late to them, probably, but...
No.
You were ahead to both
actually first
items.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was weird because like I felt good about how I routed the seed, but I could see directions where you route the seed where you're just like, okay, I'm in a much better position. And then if you're sitting there hanging on the Turtle Rock Big Key, then you're just like, this game is so wide open right now. Because like I've been prepping that, like, go down to Swamp, check Bombo's tablet, run through Stumpy, do the shovel, 45, dig game, all the way up to speed. Like, I've been prepping that play for legitimately 45
minutes,
yeah. But you just had a bunch of dungeons to clear.
And
so
I
you can pull
finally
the
got
trigger.
there, I'm like, oh, it's a connector, and I'm still missing 18 kajillion must connects. And one of them is Floating Island, which is an item. And then at that point, I also saw Lynn point out in the chat that I didn't have enough keys to go through, which is true. I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? It might be here, but I think there's a good chance this is the bridge, and so I want to go through anyway. Like, all the way, and it did end up being the bridge. I didn't have a lot of connectors left. I think I never found the brother connector, so it didn't have to be the bridge, but I just kind of was playing under the assumption at that point.
Yeah. Taelin's go mode was finding Thieves Down, so we did actually see the brothers connector was the bomb shot Bach rocks, and it connected you, of course, to GT. So that was wonderful. Again, it was neighbor bags.
And GG's in chat for Taelin wrapping up. And yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was definitely weird seeing. The other thing that you didn't find in all the stuff that you were prepping and never did was the Eastern Big Key. So for a while, it was sort of like, oh, you're a really large chunk just ahead, right? Because kind of everything seemed to be.
Where was Eastern Big?
Eastern Big was on
Game.
Dig Game.
Okay, I mean, I was getting to that soon.
You were. Taelin definitely got that a lot sooner, and then almost made the play to go in, and then quick swap to Mirror as, hello, Taelin, welcome in. GG's, my dude.
GG's.
That was literally the out that Taelin had at that point, despite looking for entrances, was that if it happened to be in the Eastern Big Chest, there was a very crazy world where he was still looking for Thieves Town for Go mode, but that was finally an out for him back into the seed. Taelin, how do you feel, my dude? I'm sorry, I just kind of rambled the whole time you joined in.
No, you're good, my guy. GG. Yeah, it got to a point where I was like, man, for 30-40 minutes, I did the whole west or east side of the world and had nothing. And I was like, this is getting real bad. And then it was basically follow the fire rod. And it got to the point where I'm like, all right, 4 crystals, pretty quick. I need a couple entrances and a big key. And then the other things I wanted to be crystals were pendants. I'm like, come on, dude. And then that PR big key sucked. And then I'm like, great, I'm looking for entrances. And it was just like all the bad entrances I could possibly try to track down. I was like, good God, this is just like the worst spot for this.
Yeah. I mean, I was TR big for Go mode for, I want to say, about 30 minutes.
Oh, woof. Yeah, it was like, I was looking for, I found Swamp, and I'm like, I'm not doing the left, I don't care. And then it was like, I'm looking for Thieves Town and TR big for not quite that long, but it got to the point of annoying.
Yeah. I had found Thieves Town, like I was just kind of in a big entrance hunt, and so I found Thieves Town. I had that North Dark World chunk sort of sitting there, and I just specifically left it, hoping to find the bumper connector. And so when I found bumper, I'm like, all right, we're going through. Like I have 18 kajillion must connects I still need to find. And then it was just like, okay, here's this, and then I'm like, here's Eastern. I'm like, I can open every entrance in the game. I can find Swamp. I'm not touching this shit with like a 20-foot pole right now.
Yeah, I was really hoping. I was like, okay, I never touched Eastern, I never touched Meyer, and I didn't do the climb. If he got sucked into any of those,
I did all of Meyer. I didn't touch Eastern. I didn't do the climb.
I was like, man, maybe it bought me enough time because, like I said, there was some routing in the middle where I was just like, nothing.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
So when I got the fire rod, I had like that and Stumpy left before I started dungeon diving, and I'm like, crap.
I had the fire rod fairly early. I'm guessing significantly earlier than you because I didn't do most of the east side of the world at that point.
Yeah, I started I did the east side of the world first.
But like, I literally never made it to Stumpy in this seed.
Yeah.
Or like, I didn't do Stumpy or Dig Game in the seed at this point because I got spit out up at the Hookshot Cave connector because I'm like, you know what, I have this glove, but it's pretty far out of logic. I'm gonna like hug logic here a little bit, and so I ended up doing the like Vu loop, and I think that ended up getting me my fire rod somehow, and then ended up going to Skullwoods and was it Paradox Cave? I don't remember.
It was either Thieves or it was either
no, it was Hype Cave. Like
John,
Oh, it was Hype Cave, but that was
Hype
right.
Cave. Yeah, it was Hype Cave
there.
at the archery game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
no,
I got
it was
that.
it was at
brewery.
It was a brewery.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, very big difference because there's a big rock in the way. But
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too, and y'all had very interestingly split the world. Basically, we're kind of joking with this, Alaszun. You went north, like you split the world north-south with how you did it. Taelin, you split the world east-west. And like I said, there was an interesting sort of cross-section about how y'all did it. And you both kind of tiptoed around that glove until again, it was Alaszun getting the fire rod. I think it was your next save and quit after the Skull Woods drop where you just said, screw it, I'm going to Ice Palace, if I'm remembering this sequence right.
I mean, that was as soon as I got access.
Yeah.
That was my first save and quit after I got access, because I got the fire rod, went up through Skull Woods, got all the absolutely garbage there, and then said, okay, I mean, this glove's out of logic, but the fire rod's in logic, and most of Ice Palace is in logic, even without this glove. I guess I'm just kind of going for this.
Yeah, that's where I was too when I got the fire rod. I'm like, all right, Ice Palace first.
Yeah, I think I had a little bit more than you.
The GT Big was in there, and I was like, all right, that's the entire basement. We're doing all that next.
I kind of was planning to go in, do the right side, grab the key, and die, because I was still on 0 GT smalls at the time.
what was it too?
And then I got the hook shot, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I just need to orphan the big chest. I got the big key. I'm like, okay, fine, I get what you're telling me.
Yep.
And then I'm like, all right, well, I have this glove behind the lamp, and the lamp shows up 4 key left, and I was like, what the is going on here?
I was like, come on, dude.
And like, even now, I think I got 3 GT keys, so I'm still missing 1 to put it in logic. I'm still missing a TR small to put the reversal in logic. There is a key at race game that I haven't picked up.
That was Thieves.
That was Thieves?
That was Thieves
okay.
Small.
I would say, at this point, looking at my tracker, it's Thieves Small, Ice, Meyer, TR, GT, and I'm one of each of those that I'm missing.
Yeah. Actually, during the credits, there was actually an interesting call-out. Pedestal was a key.
Oh, yeah?
Interesting.
So there's a very good chance that it was just Logical Lady just to get the goddamn lamp. Actually,
I think it was Logical AD.
No, it couldn't have been because of Eastern.
Yeah, that can't be a GT key then.
That might have been a TR or Ice.
It's Ice, Turtle Rock, or Meyer then at that point.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff doesn't super matter.
Yeah, I think it.
But yeah,
it's probably just Meyer, right?
It could be. I mean, I went through and I'm like staring at this and I'm just like hearing the telethar in my head being like, you only have 2 Meyer keys, don't you dare. And I'm like, I feel pretty good about how I've routed this seed. I feel like I'm up a decent efficiency around. I'm just going to do left side and just go for the fastest full clear out. I think if I had fewer things left in the world at the time I found Meyer, I probably would have greeted a little bit and possibly skipped Vitreous and possibly skipped cutscene. But
yeah, but you have Eastern, you have the climb, and then that whole.
I had Eastern, I had the climb, I had the Southwest Dark. I mean, it was basically Eastern Climb and Southwest Darkwold at this point. I also had the out of logic reverse of Turtle Rock, and I mean, like that's what I was doing is I was just reversing to Turtle Rock, and then at that point it was okay. Let's do the south to north sweep, and I'll either find the TR big or the Eastern big and do that, and if not, I'll climb. And it's just weird because it was really weird because like usually you have a sense on like where is most of my value out there in the world. It's like, oh, I haven't found Hype Cave or Mini Moldorm Cave, so maybe I should rush entrances. And like I think if you looked it down, I had something like 6 checks in dungeons.
Yeah.
5 checks in entrances and like 4 or 5 checks in the overworld.
Yeah.
And there's not really much of a value argument to be made for favoring any one of them over any of the other ones. And I mean, I went for Turtle Rock eventually just because the fact that I hadn't seen the front of Turtle Rock at that point just kind of made me suspicious and like, all right, let me go through this. Worst case, this spits me out on the bridge and I at least get access to the 2 entrances there.
Yeah, Taelin had kind of actually like in the early game, Taelin had south routed up through Kakariko and had gotten the Samari beforehand. So like he went through and he had also picked up the sword. Nice tank start, by the way, Alaszun.
What do you mean nice tank start? I've been tank starting for like 4 months.
I know. Talk to Zaf. Anyway,
you did it as the co-op tourney. It's fine.
But
unless you play since.
So Taelin went up through Turtle Rock, and then we saw that it was the bridge connector. And we're joking, like, there's probably nothing going to be on the right side because it's fire rod locked, and then of course it was Turtle Rock big key.
Yeah, I'd see. It was one of those things when I started this, like, we pulled cross keys, and I'm against the runner-up of the last cross keys tournament. This will be fine. So I was like, there has to be something dumb I can do early that maybe gives me an advantage. So when I saw the Samaria with a sword, and I'm thinking,
I definitely sat there and
I'm to the front. I'm like, I'm gonna, just who knows what'll be up front.
The fun part is I was playing the counter version of that logic in my head and trying to run through like, okay, if I'm somebody trying to be like, I'm gonna cheese this or do a dumb route that nobody ever like, what's the play I'm going to think of? And so I was like similarly trying to think of that. I'm like, how do I defend against this? And like, people will tell you, like, I was super thorough this seed, the way I played. Like, I did the Meyer dip and got the grand prize of a Tower of Hera small key.
Gross.
Huge thumbs up, by the way. And I'm like,
that was like a majority of the entire like east side of the world though. Like everything I checked was just empty. I think I got a pod small, and that's about the glory of it. I'm like, this is bad.
I mean, I wish I got
cannot
nothing
waste this
instead of
kind
the Harris small.
Like I cannot waste this kind of time over here with nothing.
Yeah, no. I mean, and I know the feel. It feels really bad when you do that too, where it's just like I haven't seen progression in like 35 minutes at this point.
Yeah, and then it was like as soon as like, we were talking about the fire rod, as soon as you find it, you've got to chase that thing, and it led to everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it!
Yeah.
No, it was really great. It was a good race. Alaszun, I've never had the pleasure of being able to race you, and Cross Keys is one of those modes I picked up last year, and the more I play it, the more I like it. So I really was looking forward to a great race, and I think I played it okay. Obviously, there's some routing things I wish I could have taken back, and last locating always sucks. But overall, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still feeling the rust a little bit. I've been taking a fairly sustained break since co-op, but it's been fun to sort of get back on the horse a bit.
Yeah, after multi-world, I've been pretty much on a hiatus, except for some AD keys, and so it was nice to try to get it going. So when someone reached out to do this particular event, I was pretty excited to do it again.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I have nothing more on my side. Tough. I don't know if you have any more questions.
No. Anyway, congratulations, you guys. This was a great matchup. I think, unfortunately, Taelin, you guys are on the distinguished regulars are now down 0-2. But
Now,
JJ
JJ won. JJ.
Oh no,
won.
JJ won. JJ won. So you're 1 and 2. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you're still a lot through next week, and I know Alaszun, you on team Carol Kusaba, the 16th student, lying somewhere hidden in this school.
Say the whole thing.
The one that called the ultimate watch out for her. Anyway, yes, I have a game tomorrow at the same.
And
we're up 2-0. Lynn and I are playing tomorrow at the same time. I have Hitman. Lynn has Vix Rider.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got it in about 7 or 8 times.
Excellent.
And thank you very much for tracking for us tonight, Arya Stark, team captain of the Distinguished Wranglers. I cannot speak team names anymore after somebody's team name. And
Sounds like a skill issue to me.
Yes, I know. And thank you very much, Rukia Kakiri, for doing our restreaming tonight. Getting this restream on, it was kind of late last second, so thanks again. Coming up, I'm sure we'll try to get some restreams on tomorrow for Survivors Hyrule. I'm not entirely sure what else is going on with the ZRSR schedule. I don't have that open, unfortunately. But have a good night, everyone.